always super confident about the film, and he had actually had this talk with me about how I've done, and yeah, we all grew up. I was in the 8th grade when I saw Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge and said I want to make a love story like this. For a person like him to say that you've made a great film, all he had asked for me was to make your best film for me, and I did, and I'm just glad that was the first thing, and that validation was great. I wasn't shouting over the roof for it. It gives you a lot of confidence at that moment,
Absolutely.
for the person who's actually put his money where it is, and he wasn't talking about anything else but on a very unassembled film at that time. Could feel the emotion and be listening, but it was the first time we felt that we made something special. But yes, once the numbers came in, I think then it was Akshay.
The advance.
Yeah, and the advances came in, and then people were sending me messages, and all they said, no, don't listen to anyone. So I at one point just put my phone off and said, this is getting too out of hand. And then in the night we got the number.
I'm Arjun Samad Mahindran, and here's what the world is waking up to this Wednesday morning. Racist attacks peak against Indians abroad. A 70-year-old Sikh man brutally attacked in LA, left in coma. India Day event delayed in Ireland over racist attacks. Zelensky makes big claim days ahead of Trump-Putin Alaska summit, underlines Ukraine will not cede Donbass, warns Russia could use land as springboard for new war. At least 23 arrested after National Guard arrives in Washington, D.C. amid Trump's federal takeover. It took 5 years in the making, but India-China to resume direct flights in September in major thaw. And Shubman Gill scripts another cricketing history, becomes first cricketer to win 4 ICC Men's Player of the Month awards. But our focus this Wednesday morning on World 24/7 viewers. Racist attacks targeting members of the Indian community are drawing global outrage. Now, in the latest in Los Angeles, a 70-year-old Sikh man, Harpal Singh, remains in a coma as we get to this bulletin after a brutal assault near a Gurudwara. He was in fact struck repeatedly with a golf club in what many are calling a hate crime. While a suspect has been arrested, the Sikh community is demanding the authorities officially recognize the racial motivation behind the attack. Listen in.
It's been 1 week since this brutal assault happened. We do not have answers. The suspect is at large. Right. But let me tell you, today I spoke with LAPD Commander-in-Chief Jim McDonnell, and he assured me that the LAPD is leaving no stone unturned. That means, and that includes, all theories are on the table. We do not yet know what the motive was, and if the motive involves hate or bias. I am making a plea to you on behalf of Mr. Singh. If you have any information, whatever information you have, you can leave an anonymous tip. The number is 1-800-222-8477.
Now, that was Los Angeles, but that's not the entire story. In fact, it's not even half the story. Across the northern border in Canada, disturbing footage showed how a group of teenagers, in fact, harassed an Indian couple with racial slurs and threats. Now, one 18-year-old has been arrested and charged with a hate crime. Now, the video has sparked widespread condemnation and renewed calls to address rising hate incident in the country. Meanwhile, over in Ireland, a major cultural celebration, the India Day, has been postponed or has been forced to be postponed due to a surge in racially motivated attacks, now including one involving a young Indian child as well. The Irish president, meanwhile, has strongly condemned the violence, urging action against growing xenophobia. As incidents rise across borders, viewers, communities are demanding not just action from authorities, but they're demanding accountability. My colleague Maha Siddiqui, meanwhile, joins me for more on this from Vancouver. Maha, we've seen a spike in attacks and hate crime against the Southeast Asian community, specifically Indians. We also saw what the Conservative Party is saying over there in Canada. Does there seem to be more than, are these incidents more than just scattered? Is there a pattern to all of these incidents?
Well, there has been an anti-immigrant sentiment that has been rising in Canada ever since after the COVID pandemic. Since the economic situation in Canada has seen a downturn, there has been a housing crisis, there has been a rising inflation, and mostly we have seen in cases of this nature without any evidence, the first set of people who are blamed for all these problems, and it is politically convenient as well. In countries, it is to blame the immigrants. And that kind of sentiment has risen in Canada, even though the Canadian government now recognizes this as a worrying factor and a matter of concern, considering that for 5 decades, Canada welcomed immigrants with open arms. They are concerned as to why there has been a turn in that sentiment in Canada, which was not seen as we have seen in other countries, specifically down south in the United States. Now, this matter particularly that has come to light from Scarborough, we have seen one arrest already in this matter. One 18-year-old has been identified in the case, though there were at least 2 other youth along with him in that car, and they had harassed and also made racial comments, racially motivated comments against the Indian couple in that parking lot in Scarborough. This 18-year-old has been arrested, who's been accused in this case, is from the Kawata Lake region. Right. And also he will be presented he has to present himself in court on the 16th of September. So certainly worrying there. And the Canadian government will now have to see how to address this issue.
That's precisely, not just justice, but accountability, as we said, has to be doled out. Thank you so much for getting us the latest, Maha. Now we shift our focus with that to the Far East, where the world is counting down to the August 15 Trump-Putin Alaska meet. But Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky is standing firm. He's saying in the latest that Ukraine will not give up any land to Russia. Now he's warning that it would only fuel another future war. Zelensky has rejected any deal that would see Ukraine withdraw from parts of Donbass, calling it a potential launchpad for a new Russian attack or multiple attacks in the days to come. Now, this comes as Russian sabotage groups have breached Ukrainian lines in eastern Donbass, advancing 6 miles in just 3 days. Ukraine's military, meanwhile, says it's deploying reinforcements to hold the front. Zelensky has also revealed that Russia may be preparing a new major offensive this fall with 30,000 troops. Now, despite the tension, Zelensky expressed hope that the U.S. could still play an honest mediator. But for now, the battle for Donbass is far from over. And to shed more light on this, I'm joined by Professor Andrew Latham. He is the Professor of Political Science at York University's Macalester College. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Professor. For the benefit of our viewers, I'd like you to underline the sheer importance of Donbass. And, if Russia takes control of Donbass, how would it bolster Russia and weaken not only Ukraine, but also the European Union?
Well, the status of the Donbass oblasts or provinces are enshrined in both Ukraine's constitution and in Russia's constitution. They both claim that this is sovereign territory, the one sovereign under Kyiv, the other one sovereign under Moscow. So that's in a sense, one of the roots of this conflict. They have this mutually irreconcilable claim to Donbass. Now, if Russia prevails, and any sensible military analyst will tell you that they are prevailing on the battlefield, this is going to change the security calculus in Europe. We already see the Baltic states, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, being very concerned about future Russian aggression. Poland as well, which is now the European superpower in military terms. They're spending 5% of GDP on defense. So it's going to change the European security calculus. It remains to be seen to what extent, and it remains to be seen to what extent the United States is going to continue to play a role in shaping and policing that security calculus.
Well, thank you so much for weighing in there, Professor. And I have to move on due to the paucity of time. We shift our focus to Europe, where UK PM Keir Starmer is in fact set to co-chair a key international meeting on Ukraine. He will join a virtual call alongside Ukrainian President Zelensky, French President Macron, and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz. Now, the discussion follows recent talks with US President Donald Trump and European leaders focused on ending the war in Ukraine. Later, Starmer will also lead the coalition of the Willing meeting. It's a group of 31 countries backing Ukraine's fight for peace and security. We shift our focus westwards, where the White House says 23 people have been arrested in Washington, D.C. after a massive law enforcement surge on Monday night. President Trump deployed National Guard troops and took control of D.C. police, raising concerns about similar actions in other cities. Now, around 850 federal officers and agents have been sent into the city. They made arrests for crimes, including homicide, drug trafficking, and gun violations. 6 illegal firearms were also recovered as per media reports. Meanwhile, the White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt has said this is just the beginning of a month-long federal crackdown on crime. Meanwhile, Mayor Muriel Bowser has said she will work with federal authorities to make the most of the extra resources. However, critics say and maintain Trump's move is an attack on local control and a distraction from political issues. Meanwhile, Trump says he may take similar action in cities like Chicago, New York, and even Los Angeles. Meanwhile, here's what the DC mayor had to say.
We have been working collaboratively. I think this is going to be a good effort. It's going to be an effort that's supported by both teams, the Metropolitan Police Department, as well as our federal partners. As you know, we work daily with them. What we've done at this point is we have provided the team, the administrator, with a strategic plan on how we will provide resources around our city. I think it's something that is doable. We know that we have to get illegal guns off of our street. And if we have this influx or enhanced presence, it's going to make our city even better.
Shift our focus to the Middle East, where Israel is reportedly in talks with South Sudan to relocate Palestinians from Gaza. Now, it's a plan PM Benjamin Netanyahu calls voluntary migration, and in fact says it aligns with US President Donald Trump's vision as well. Meanwhile, Gaza is now facing a deadly new threat, and it's called antibiotic-resistant infections. Now, this as war, hunger, and a shattered health system fuel a medical crisis. In fact, a new study reveals 2/3 of patient samples from one of Gaza's only working labs contained drug-resistant bacteria. The WHO says the health system is catastrophic, with overcrowded hospitals and blocked aid. Israel, meanwhile, says it has sent medical supplies and support aid, but access remains limited due to Hamas. We stay with the Middle East, where Iran could hold direct nuclear talks with the US if conditions are suitable. First, Vice President Mohammad Reza Arif said on Tuesday. Now, but he also added that US demands for Tehran to drop uranium enrichment entirely were a quote-unquote joke. A 6th round of talks between Tehran and Washington was suspended following Israeli and American strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities back in June, on 3 nuclear facilities to be precise. Now, both powers accuse Tehran of seeking nuclear weapons. It's an accusation Tehran has repeatedly rejected. And it's time we step into a short break. Much more on the other side.
Rajasthan is history, culture, and much more. And I have been reporting on all things royal for more than 25 years.
The colors, the culture, and the complexities of the Northeast is different from the rest of the country. I have been bringing the Northeast closer to the capital for over 15 years.
Madhya Pradesh is the heart of India, and I have been capturing its every beat for over 10 years.
Covering the corridors of power, what is said, what is left unsaid, and what it actually means for you and me. I have it all covered.
Kashmir is often called paradise on earth, a region that has been in a state of flux from conflict to India's crowning glory. I have been reporting and decoding Jammu and Kashmir for last 3 decades.
When facts are fragmented, we put the pieces together. Where power collides with truth, we are there.
Behind me is that massive security arrangements that are in place.
Behind fractured boundaries, we clear the fog of war. Fault Lines with Gauri Dwivedi, only on NDTV World.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
From interesting tech startups to industry-leading companies, politics, sports, culture, curry, cricket. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Like me, if you too thrive on interesting conversations, this is a show you cannot miss. Watch this space to know more about all matters and all people that make Britain what it is today. Out of Britain, with me, Radhika Iyer.
And you know, that's why it's being said that after Kaho Na Pyar Hai, this is the film that has got two superstar debutants who are becoming superstars. But what was this faith that you had on these two that you know, that shows on screen?
You know, you don't plan to make a blockbuster. You plan to make a good film. And that's what I think they never let me, you know, they didn't put that pressure on me to live up to. They never gave me a number that we have to hit or a so-called figure that I have to open to. There was, all these trappings were just not there, which normally producers do end up putting that pressure. You know, then you make wrong things. Then you add a song for a shadi song, add a Punjabi song. All these trappings were not there in this film. They were like, just go there and make your film. Do this script. We love this script and make it honestly. And I think the minute that happened, a filmmaker I could just spread my wings and just go out, not worrying about a few. I think when you do that, you get a little more fearless, and then that's what got picked up by people. So I cast appropriate for the film. I didn't cast thinking. I cast what felt right.
You were saying that you are going to say no to him.
Yeah. But that's his fault. Huh? He was behaving. Now you see, now that we can talk about the film, Krish Kapoor cannot be a timid, sweet boy.
Yes,
sir, how are you, sir?
Last time we spoke.
Yeah, and I was like, what is this guy? He was a sweet boy and all that. Then by the end of the night, I could see the boisterous self, and I could see the Krish Kapoor who could stand on top and say, don't forget this name, it's Krish Kapoor. So I think I was looking for that a bit. I needed a spark of that.
From interesting tech startups to industry-leading companies, politics, sports, culture, curry, cricket. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Like me, if you too thrive on interesting conversations, this is a show you cannot miss. Watch this space to know more about all matters and all people that make Britain what it is today. Out of Britain, with me, Radhika Iyer.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
Welcome back. After 5 long years, India and China are set to resume direct passenger flights as soon as next month. Air connectivity between the two nations has been suspended ever since the COVID-19 pandemic. Indian airlines like Air India and Indigo have been asked already to prepare for flights to China on short notice. An official announcement, meanwhile, is expected during the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit at the end of August, where PM Modi, in fact, may also meet Chinese President Xi Jinping. Direct flights were stopped in 2020 following border clashes and rising tensions. Now, since then, travelers had to take long indirect routes through hubs like Hong Kong or Singapore. Over in Europe, at least 3 people have died in a scorching heat wave that is fueling dozens of wildfires across parts of southern Europe, forcing thousands of people from their homes. Red heat alerts have in fact been issued in parts of Italy, France, Spain, Portugal and the Balkans, virtually covering all of Western Europe. It comes as a warning of significant risks to health as temperatures push above 40 degrees Celsius. That's correct. Now, Spain's weather service, AMET, has said temperatures could reach 44 degrees Celsius in Sevilla and Cordoba, while South Portugal could also hit 44 degrees Celsius. South Korean crypto mogul Do Kwon has pleaded guilty to fraud charges tied to a massive $40 billion crypto market crash. Now, Kwon, the co-founder of Terraform Labs and creator of the cryptocurrencies Terra USD and Luna, entered the plea in a New York federal court. Prosecutors say he misled investors in 2021 by claiming a faulty algorithm stabilized Terra USD's $1 value. Now, in reality, he secretly used a trading firm to prop up this price. The collapse wiped out billions and shook the global crypto market. Kwon now faces up to 25 years in prison, though prosecutors may recommend 12 if he accepts full responsibility. The White House is set to host an Ultimate Fighting Championship event next year as part of 4th July celebrations in the US to mark the 250th anniversary of the country's founding. The Octagon Cage Fight event was announced by UFC boss Dana White, whose friendship with the president dates back to the early 2000s when Trump hosted some of the first ever UFC events at his business properties. Now, White said he planned to meet with the president and his daughter Ivanka at the end of the month to finalize and flesh out the plans. In the world of sports, Indian Test captain Shubman Gill has won the ICC Player of the Month award for the month of July. Now, the cricketer aggregated 588 runs in the month across 7 innings in England, plundering 3 tons in the process. Now, he's also bagged the Player of the Match award in Birmingham for mounting match-winning scores of 269 and 161 against England. This report gets you more.
Shubman Gill, the Indian Test captain, is back in the news again. And this time, not for the mountain of runs he has scored, but because of the recognition that has followed. On Tuesday, he became the first male cricketer to claim the ICC Player of the Month title for the 4th time. In his debut assignment, leading the Indian team in the longest format of the game, the 25-year-old made a stunning tally of 754 runs at an average of 75.9. 567 runs and 3 tons came in the month of July, which includes his effort in the second test at Edgbaston, which saw him knock off 269 and 161. The tally of 430 runs in the match is the second highest aggregate total ever and the most runs a player has made in an away test match. He was named the Player of the Match in Edgbaston and India's Player of the Series. Shubman Gill beat Babar Azam to win the ICC POTM 4 times. He said, and I quote, "It feels great to be named the ICC Player of the Month for July. This time it holds a lot more significance since it has come from my performances during my first Test series as captain. The double ton in Birmingham is obviously something I'll cherish forever and will be one of the highlights of my tour to England. Shubman will be back in India colours during the Asia Cup next month and will most likely take up India's T20 vice captaincy. In New Delhi, Rika Roy for NDTV.
And New York City's longest-running public dance festival will commemorate India's Independence Day on the 15th of August by hosting an array of cultural performances focusing on the essence of Shakti, Nari Shakti, the female divine energy. We leave you with these visuals.
Rajasthan is history, culture, and much more. And I have been reporting on all things royal for more than 25 years.
The colors, the culture, and the complexities of the Northeast is different from the rest of the country. I have been bringing the Northeast closer to the capital for over 15 years.
Madhya Pradesh is the heart of India, and I have been capturing its every beat for over 10 years.
Covering the corridors of power, what is said, what is left unsaid, and what it actually means for you and me. I have it all covered.
Kashmir is often called paradise on earth, a region that has been in a state of flux from conflict to India's crowning glory. I have been reporting and decoding Jammu and Kashmir for last 3 decades.
When facts are fragmented, we put the pieces together. Where power collides with truth, we are there.
Behind me is that massive security arrangements that are in place.
Behind fractured boundaries, we clear the fog of war. Fault Lines with Gauri Dwivedi, only on NDTV World.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
From interesting tech startups to industry-leading companies, politics, sports, culture, curry, cricket. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Like me, if you too thrive on interesting conversations, this is a show you cannot miss. Watch this space to know more about all matters and all people that make Britain what it is today. Out of Britain, with me, Radhika Iyer.
Mohit, you are known for your music. All your films, musics stay with us till today. I'm a millennial and those music are kind of music. So whenever we say Mohit Suri film aa raha hai, we know the music will be good, right? It's a given. So you really work hard. But is this always like how you create your music? You place the mood, the lighting, even when the person is in the studio and just singing. And also, how did you select your musicians that this person's voice is perfect for this song?
You know, that's what I think, the amount you give to a song, that's how long it will last, I think. Everyone does the programming, everyone writes the words, everyone makes the thing. But the thing is how much you give, how much of heart you give to the lyrics or to the music or to the melody or to the singing. That's how long the song will last, is what I genuinely feel. If you don't give that love, you're not going to get it back. It's just a simple debit and credit procedure, I think, with the audience. I genuinely feel I don't have any special skill. I don't know any scale or anything else. It's just that I enjoy that process a lot. Give me an evening to just go for a film party or something, I'll skip it. But you give me like a a struggling musician to go who has a great tune, some new guys, chill all night with them. I can do that. I can just sit there, make music and stuff like that. We just did that recently. Fahim came down. He just surprised us, and we met in my Bandra office, and Han was there, Aneet was there, and he made me hear his other songs and stuff like that. But it was it's so much fun, because I just think making music, I mean, film, you still get to see something. I think music is so amazing. I mean, you just
don't need to see anything.
It's in the air, and suddenly it just comes together, and it's just, you can just feel it. And something you hear makes you feel something. It's just magical.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Extremely shocking and tragic case coming out of Uttar Pradesh. A differently abled woman was chased and raped, and all of that was caught on CCTV when the woman was attempting to flee on foot. In Balrampur, an outrage has now erupted over the incident. 2 people have been arrested. In the Pune Porsche case, now the cops are moving the court in order for the cops pushing there, in fact, to try the juvenile accused as an adult. A key arrest has been made in Rajasthan. The DRDO guest house manager has been arrested for leaking information to Pakistan. And a surrogacy scam has been busted in Hyderabad. 4 doctors among 25 people have been arrested. Now, amid mixed reactions when it comes to the Supreme Court order on stray dogs, it's the Madras High Court now hinting that it would be considering implementing the order in the state of Tamil Nadu. This comes at a time where there is a nationwide call to look into the issue of stray dogs. And it's Mumbai's pigeon puzzle showdown coming up in the High Court today after plea challenges the ban on feeding pigeons in Mumbai. Indian cricketer Suresh Raina will be appearing today before the Enforcement Directorate, and this is in the illegal betting app case. So this is after Rana Daggubati and Vijay Deverakonda. It's the turn of a cricketer. The Indian cricketer Suresh Raina will be grilled by the ED. A very good morning. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Divya Vatwa. We have breaking news coming in, very tragic and very appalling at that. This is a differently abled woman in the state of Uttar Pradesh who was chased and raped. On CCTV footage, one can see that the woman was trying to flee on foot. All of that has been caught on camera. The accused have chased the woman on a bike, and this was for about 20 meters just away from a police station. A 22-year-old differently abled woman has been raped. The woman was found with injuries in a field, and 2 people now have been arrested. This after an uproar has been caused by this incident. Let's listen in to what the police had to say.
जो जाने के रास्ते थे, उन रास्तों पे सीसीटीवी फुटेज देखकर 2 व्यक्तियों के नाम प्रकाश में आए और उन दो व्यक्तियों को आज रात दौरान पुलिस मुठभेड़ गिरफ्तार किया गया। जो दो व्यक्तियों को गिरफ्तार किया गया उनके नाम है अंकुर वर्मा पुत्र चंद्रदेव और दूसरा हर्षित पांडे पुत्र प्रयाग दत्त। दौरान पुलिस मुठभेड़ आज इन दोनों को गिरफ्तार किया गया है और अभी तक जो प्रारंभिक पूछताछ हो पाई है उसमें इन दोनों ने घटना को करना स्वीकारा है और साथ ही साथ जो घटना स्थल है उसे भी पहचान कराने की बात कही है और पुलिस इसमें साक्ष्य इकट्ठा कर रही है और इसमें आगे विवेचना की जाएगी।
My colleague Ranveer joining us on the phone line. Ranveer, a very shocking incident coming to life. This is very tragic. We're talking about a differently abled 22-year-old woman who is being chased and she's trying to run to get away from these people who were chasing her on a bike. And this was so close to a police station. Take us to the details of this very shocking case.
This horrific incident occurred on Monday when a specially abled girl was returning back to her home at the night time and two bike-borne criminals tried to abduct her when she ran away from that spot and they chased her, and after that she was allegedly raped and the criminals fled from the spot. So a CCTV footage got viral, and the incidents occurred in the very posh area of Balrampur. That is, the government officials resides there, and despite that, a huge security arrangement was there. Despite that, this incident occurred, and after police get information and the video got viral, both the accused named Ankur and Harshit, they were arrested yesterday in an encounter. So now they are in police custody and the interrogation is going on. So this is obviously very shocking, and in a very posh area of Balrampur, a girl was being tried to abducted, and after that she was allegedly raped. So obviously this is very shocking, but Balrampur police has arrested both the accused yesterday.
Right, thank you so much for getting us all those details, Ranveer. We will keep tracking this story and coming back to you for more on this. And switching tracks from Balrampur in Uttar Pradesh now to Hyderabad, the police there have busted a big surrogacy scam. 9 cases have been booked in the ongoing investigation to a massive fake surrogacy and child trafficking racket. 4 doctors have now been arrested, including other people. There are 21 others who have also been arrested in the case. Babies were handed over as surrogate babies that had been bought from a biological parent and had no genetic link with the couple, who had paid up to 35 lakh rupees to get that baby. Now, Hyderabad police has spoken exclusively to NDTV on the case. Listen in.
This investigation into one fertility surrogacy center has snowballed into something very, very big, raising several ethical and legal questions as well. Tell us, what is the update on it? I understand that you're now handing it over to a special investigation team. What have you found out so far?
Initially, the complaint that we received was more of an individual in nature. They claimed that they had gone to a fertility clinic for treatment, and then the main doctor there had advised them to go in for surrogacy. Unaware of the legal aspects, they were persuaded by the clinic that those aspects will be taken care by the clinic themselves. And they went in for it and they paid almost 30-35 lakhs. And later on, when the child was delivered to them, they got a DNA test done and it was not matching. So from there, we started the investigation. At the very initial stage, we found out that this center, the original place of offence, that is Universal Srushti Fertility Center, located here in Gopalapuram police station limits, that has branches, many branches across the area, especially one main branch where the child was delivered in Visakhapatnam. So because of the multi-state issue, we have taken court permission, search warrants, and then we planned a joint raid at both Secunderabad clinic as well as the Vizag clinic. After the raid, we found that it was like a huge network, and in reality there was no surrogacy. It is actually a case of child trafficking. They were not actually doing any kind of surrogacy procedure. What they did was they lured or they brought these vulnerable pregnant women who were unable to keep the pregnancy, or they were unable to keep the child for a variety of reasons. And they procured that child from those biological parents and handed over those children to these prospective parents who had approached this clinic. Even fabrication actually might not be true. The samples that they used for the DNA, they switched it with the biological parent samples, which resulted in a DNA report which was showing matching.
Because so you're saying this is actually a baby trafficking racket that you uncovered?
Yes, absolutely. And from that is how we realized that so many agents are involved. And presently now we have booked 9 cases in this issue.
Now, let's get you more breaking news coming in regard to, in fact, the Pune police. They're moving the court as the Juvenile Justice Board junks the plea to try the Porsche case accused as an adult. Now, the Pune police have approached a sessions court challenging that decision to reject the request to try a 17-year-old accused in the deadly Porsche car crash here as an adult for the trial in the case. The boy, the son of a very well-known real estate developer, is accused of driving a luxury car in Kalyani Nagar area of Pune in an inebriated condition and fatally knocking down 2 motorcycle-born IT professionals who died last year in May in that incident. Paras, my colleague, joining us to get us the latest on this. Paras, the grounds on which the cops are challenging that order of the JJB is that it is arbitrary, given that he's over 17, he's close to 18 years of age, and that, you know, they've gone on to say that the gravity of the offence and given the fact that he's 17 years and 8 months, a psychological evaluation was necessary.
Rightly said that this whole incident took place last year in Pune's Kalyani Nagar, where a ramming and a speeding Porsche car rammed into 2 techies, and on the spot 2 techies died. After that, there were many things which has happened on the whole situation. We has also seen that when the first time the juvenile boy was produced in Juvenile Justice Board, he was granted bail on the condition of writing a 300-word essay on traffic rules and other things. So this was a very situation which occurred, and after that this whole situation went very differently. With that, there are many arrests which has been made in this entire situation, many things which happened, and last month only the decision which was came out by Juvenile Justice Board, given by Juvenile Justice Board, and rejecting the plea which was filed by Pune police officials in this entire matter to treat this boy as an adult was rejected by Juvenile Justice Board. Pune police was continuously trying to convince Juvenile Justice Board regarding the crime which has happened was in the category of heinous crime. Now, when the this plea was rejected by JJB, NDTV 24/7 was the channel who broke the story that Pune police will challenge this decision soon, and now Pune police has filed a plea in Pune Session Court regarding the same and challenging the order of Juvenile Justice Board that this juvenile should be treated as the adult, and now the proceeding will go on soon in this entire matter. But the big thing in this entire situation is there right now is that Juvenile Justice Board, after rejecting the plea by Pune Police has approached Pune Session Court, and they had filed a plea to treat this boy as an adult and has challenged the order of Juvenile Justice Board.
Right, thank you so much for getting us those details. Now, let's get you the latest, and this is in regard to a suspected Pakistani spy has been arrested from Rajasthan. A manager at the DRDO, the Defence Research and Development Organization's guest house in Jaisalmer, has been arrested on charges of espionage for Pakistan's Inter-Services Intelligence, the ISI. In a statement, the Rajasthan police has gone on to say that the guest house manager of DRDO has been identified as Mahendra Prasad. He was leaking confidential information across the border through social media, raising concerns over sensitive security breaches. Well, to know more on this, we have my colleague Sushant Parekh joining us on the phone line in order to get us more on this. Sushant, you know, he was allegedly constantly in touch with his Pakistani intelligence handler. He was leaking very sensitive information about India's defense activities. What led to his arrest?
देखिए बिल्कुल इसको 8 दिन पहले डिटेन किया गया था और इसके पास जो मोबाइल मिला था उस मोबाइल में जिस तरह की जानकारी है उससे ये साफ हो गया है कि ये चांदन फील्ड फायरिंग रेंज में जहां पर बहुत सारे साइंटिस्ट और सेना के अधिकारी आते थे और जिस गेस्ट हाउस में वो रुका करते थे वहीं पर ये वहां पर पोस्टेड था और उसी गेस्ट हाउस में आने वाले तमाम वैज्ञानिकों की और अधिकारियों की, सेना से जुड़े अधिकारियों की जानकारी पाकिस्तान भेजता था। इसके मोबाइल का गहन परीक्षण करवाया गया है और इसके अलावा भी क्योंकि पाकिस्तान से लगती हुई राजस्थान की 1000 किलोमीटर से ज्यादा की सीमा है और बहुत सारे एक्सरसाइज और तमाम गतिविधियां चलती रहती हैं, तो जो जानकारी इसके पास थी उसने सारी इंफॉर्मेशन पाकिस्तान में भेजी है और ये पाकिस्तान के जो कई हैंडलर इससे लगातार टच में थे, ये सारी कंफर्मेशन इसके मोबाइल के एग्जामिन से हुई है। तो फाइनली इसको लंबी पूछताछ के बाद गिरफ्तार कर लिया गया है और अब कोशिश इस बात का पता लगाने की जा रही कि पाकिस्तान में कौन कौन था और इसके साथ साथ राजस्थान में खासतौर पे जैसलमेर के इलाके में कौन कौन दूसरे ऐसे पाक जासूस हैं जो इसके टच में थे।
Right, thank you so much, Sushant Parekh, for joining us with those details. Switching tracks to Mumbai now, and the Bombay High Court will be taking up the pigeon feeding ban amidst calls for protests in support of and also against the ban. The Supreme Court had earlier refused to interfere with the Bombay High Court's orders directing the BMC in order to prosecute those feeding pigeons at Mumbai's Kabutar Khana. The Marathi Samiti has given a call for a massive protest at Dadar's Kabutar Khana today, demanding the authorities to continue the implementation of the ban of pigeon feeding and the closure of Kabutar Khanas as well. So that is something that is going to be taken up today, and that is also, you know, from what we know is there is going to be that huge protest at Dadar. To know more on this, you know, joining us from the Kabutar Khana is my colleague Saurabh Gupta. Also, we have Radhika Ramaswamy joining us as well. Saurabh, over to you first. Now, you know, the order basically is in regard of looking at the larger picture and to safeguard children and the elderly.
Yes, what should have been a matter and debate over health concerns has also now taken a religious angle turn, and that's something that obviously is from the Jain community, which believes that feeding pigeons is a part of its, you know, core practices, religious practices, and therefore they are saying that, you know, the ban on feeding pigeons in public places, even if it is over health concerns, is curtailing their religious freedom. That's something that we see. But today there have been protests planned by those who, of course, are supporting the ban and those who are opposing the ban as well. There's a Jain monk who's announced that he would go on you know, a fast on to death protest or follow the path of Satyagraha if this ban is not reversed, while there are groups that have said that the BMC should continue the implementation of the ban. But in anticipation of those protests, massive security at the Dadar Kabutar Khana, and of course, like you see, the pigeon